Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Skin Boutique. Now, I have not had power for 2 days because we've had rainstorms all over the country, and the rainstorm knocked over, I think, a power transformer, and so I didn't have power for 2 days. But anyway, we are back. We are back to uploading every day. So let's dive right into it. Now, on today's episode, I want us to learn how to blend eyeshadow. Now, this is like the difficulty level is gonna be a bit high because this is not beginner, but this is how you learn. So let's get our palettes and brushes and dive right in. Now I've already prepped and primed my lids. All I'm gonna do is now I've set with this shade. Actually, I've already set my lids, and I've set my lids with this shade. Now you also need to know what a transition shade is. So on this palette, because this is the most neutral palette that I own, a few transition shades are this, and this. These are what could be considered as transition shades because they're very, very neutral and can be used on basically any skin tone. Okay. Of course, this is like a cool transition shade, and then this is warm, and this is also kind of cool. It's like mauve or pink, depending on your skin tone. Now, we're gonna use the warm transition shade, this shade here, all over our lids, like this. You need to learn how transition shades work, and basically they just help your eyeshadow blend into the other, so it just doesn't look like you put a patch of eyeshadow on your eyelids and walked out of the house looking crazy. So my transition shade is in there. Let's now blend the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to use this brown shade. It's almost like a dark burgundy reddish, but it still has like some brown tones. So I'm gonna use this at the end here in my outer V corner and just blend that. Now when you're picking up such a shade, pick it up very lightly and then tap off the excess. Okay, and then when you're going in, go in with very light strokes, very light strokes that it's barely noticeable, it's hardly there, and then you can always build it up. Now building up your eyeshadow or any type of coverage really is literally the best way to do makeup, eyeshadow, anything. It applies to anything, to foundation, to what is called concealer, anything buildable, right? You see right now it's barely there, but we continue picking a bit up, tapping it off, and going back in until we build the coverage we want. Now with that same shade, I'm just deepening it here and going up into my crease, but I'm not fully extending it inside the crease, just on still on this outer side of the crease. And you can see that transition shade really like shade and help us like as we are blending it out so it doesn't look so crazy. Again, I'm just picking it up. Again, we're just building the coverage that we want, and I want to deepen that some more. This is kind of like a shade chocolatey brown shade, like that. Now as you can see, this area is a bit darkened, and this area here in my inner corner is not. So keep the eyeshadow on your outer corner, the darker eyeshadow on your outer corner, and then blend as much as you can just to get kind of like a seamless coverage, and your eyeshadow will look really, really good. Now I'm satisfied with this amount of blending, So let's go on to the next step. Now I'm going to use a glitter shade in this corner where I didn't put any eyeshadow, but you can totally skip this. And I'm just going to use a nice brown kind of metallic shade in here. Like so. I'm also doing the same on my other lid. Now, when you're putting on glitter, if it's loose glitter, it's best to use your fingers. And again, build up the coverage that you want. This is like a pressed glitter, so I'm using a brush and I'm trying to blend the glitter right into that eyeshadow so it doesn't look like I just put it on there, like, I don't know, kind of like as the way you would a sticker. So I'm just blending it also upwards just to feather out some of the glitter. I'm gonna add more here. Now using that same brush, I'm just gonna go an extra mile and like put a little bit of glitter on my nose there, the tip of my nose. I don't know, I hope it looks nice. Anyway, this look looks absolutely beautiful. Now at this point you can go in with your eyeliner and you can do a nice winged liner, or you know, a nice liner without a dramatic wing, and you're set. Or you can also put on some forces or mascara. I'm not gonna do that, but because this was just for illustration purposes. Okay, so we are at the end of this little tutorial and I hope you learned how to at least blend your eyeshadow. Blend it. Okay guys, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video tomorrow. Bye.